Yo, so I just finished watching season 2, episode 1 of Daredevil, Born Again, and here's my thoughts. It was a pretty electric opening with Daredevil going after Fisk weapons, and we find out that he has been in hiding, him and Karen, due to the events of last season. He's been laying low, but he's also been making moves, and his first move of this season was to hit Kingpin where it hurts, and that's to take away some of his weapons. He infiltrated the Northern Star ship and effectively sunk it, with the two captains surviving. And that's going to be key, the driving force behind this episode, because the two captains are also, since they survived, they're being hunted down by Fisk, because we come to find out that they were informed that there were guns on the ship, and Fisk wanted to eliminate any loose ends, and Daredevil wanted to find out what they knew about everything. So that's the driving force behind this episode, and there's a lot of action behind it. Karen has been working undercover as well. She's a very wanted woman right now. And so she's been wearing a disguise and, just doing what she can to help Daredevil out and, spread the word about Mayor Fisk and, that he's not good for the city. Speaking of spreading the word, BB Ulrich, his niece, has, been continuing to do her thing. She works for Fisk during the day, and at night she is anti-Fisk. She's spreading miscellaneous stuff about him, trying to get everybody against him and, show him for what he truly is. Fisk agents are, they're on the prowl. They're looking for those two captains, and they find one in a restaurant. So they get to the restaurant, and the lady is confronted by the agents, and the agents punish her. They hit her, and he takes off, and he get caught, and eventually he's interrogated, and he's beat down and tortured, and he's eventually taken out because Fisk doesn't want any loose ends that could tie back to him. So the other captain of that ship, the Northern Star, was still on the loose. He eventually shows up later in the episode. I think he's going to play a key part in taking out Fisk this season. There's a fake Fisk that has been putting out shows, and it's actually pretty funny to see. I know once the real Fisk sees that, if he hasn't seen it already, it's going to piss him off. It's basically like a dummy that somebody's controlling. So I'm interested to see who that is. Mr. Charlie is working with Fisk. He's handling logistics of moving products, and he is, working with him for his access to Fisk Port. And he wants Fisk to kill his men after, the goods unloaded, so that a situation like what's happening with the Northern Star won't happen again, with the captains on the loose and, them possibly being found and exploiting what happened. So that could be a big wrench of their plan. So we move on to Karen meeting with BB's daughter or niece, and she's giving her advice, journalist to journalist, because she doesn't want to see her end up like her uncle, or currently Karen, who is living life on the run, which isn't a life for anybody. So Dr. Glenn, the psychiatrist from last season, she is spiraling. As we all know, she was attacked by the artist murder serial killer, and it's definitely left an impact on her. She's interviewing the swordsman, and she's like kind of zoning out, daydreaming, and having flashbacks of what happened with her and him. And we see her later on in the episode speaking with someone, and she has another episode, and I think this is going to be key later on, as she's spiraling, she's losing it. She might end up becoming like a villain, man. You never know with these type of things. So at the end, Murdock is unmasked. He goes in to save one of his friends who looks like he's about to die from a heart attack. And, you know, Murdock was kind of keeping tabs on him, and he got distracted. And those agents, you know, they attacked him pretty good, unmasked him. And, you know, right before they're about to finish him off, everybody's good friend, Bullseye, saves the day. You know, he saves Murdock, and, you know, he lets him know, like, here, throws a knife, you're welcome. And that's how the story ends. So I'm very interested to see what happens this season. And my thoughts are it's going to be very, very moving. I'm interested to see what happens with the Kingpin storyline, with him being mayor, and, you know, how everybody else gets involved. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.